Good. Let me get the camels. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today is meeting number 462. I just wanted to share over the weekend, I was at the TLI, which is the Toastmaster Leadership Institute. They usually have once a year, and they had really helpful topics. One of the topics was improv speaking, and I think it'll be helpful for comedians like Tom and people who are trying to do humor. And one of the things I learned there was the three-headed expert. It's a game where there are three experts. Three people act as an expert, and they have to complete the sentence. So that I thought I'll bring it up in our table topics. I've signed up for table topics today, and we'll give it a try. So anyway, just wanted to share that from my side, but welcome to the meeting. Thanks for joining. I checked my phone earlier, it was 102. Really, I'm glad we decided to meet inside. So thanks, Chris and Tom, for that. All right, so just ground rules, silence your cell phones and your mobile devices. And if you have to get up, do so quietly so that we are not disturbing the speakers. And with that, I'll hand it over to our president, Alexey.
Should I start right now? Tom, is it time? Allow me to start this meeting, and I'm speaking on behalf as a president, as a boss, and a Toastmaster. So let's start another meeting. This practice in these meetings really, I believe, help a lot if you wish to improve your appearance. The way you present information in meetings, you can try different styles, different approaches. I personally, again, everybody is different, see several benefits. It allows you to learn how to control yourself during speeches, whatever your goal is, a business or personal purposes. Allow you just to be more in control of your time management, which is important, especially when we speak, we're fully devoted. It's sometimes hard to control time. These specific time frames provided here just let you learn how to control your time. Now, just somebody heard your question. 5-7 minutes is not something like given from the sky, just set in a Toastmaster website. Of course, it's flexible, adjustable to specific needs. It could be business environment. It could be different duration required for different type of activities, not necessarily from 5 to 7 minutes. So overall, we try to fit this into a format of our meeting, but of course, it can be adjustable if needed, especially, for example, we today have 2 speakers signed, one is open, so we can make it longer, shorter, whatever is needed, just to be in control of these speeches. Speaking of speeches, 2 spots are taken, Maria and Amber. One is open if somebody is willing or just like to make a prompt to speech as part of training, you're welcome. If anybody takes a picture, number 1. Yeah.
Number 1 is taken. Okay.
So any picks, again, it just, optional, whatever. Yep. Okay. Do we have any guests today, or screen is kind of?
Yes.
No guests. Okay, no guests, but it's good to see all you guys here. Yeah, just full house actually. Surprisingly, after all these hot days outside, maybe staying in the office is a key in hot weather. Another clue, it's warm in winter time, so just another incentive to come here. So with all that said, let's start this meeting, and please, just timer, Vijay, can you please give a review of your task in this meeting?
Thank you, Alexey. I'll be your timer today. For the speeches, except for Amber, it will be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll show a green symbol like this.
At 6, it'll be yellow, and at 7, it'll be red. For Ember, I will record just the time. I'll not show anything and report at the end how much time it took. For table topics, it is going to be 1 to 2 minutes. So same green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2 minutes. For evaluations, 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes green, 2.5 yellow, and 3 minutes red. And I'll report at the end how we did. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Next functional, functionality is Vivian at counter, please.
Hi, everyone. Today's my job is to count your filler words, such as likes, something like that. So, or something like that too. That's it. So I will report the results after everybody speak today. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. And Chris, as a grammarian, just please give us a quick overview.
All right, thanks, everybody. All these great smiles and excellent presence. And we do have a virtual member here also. I think, David, you're here. So guests, welcome. And we hope you enjoy what we were doing here tonight. So we'll check in with you later and ask you kind of what prompted you to join our meeting tonight and what you'd like to get out of it in the future. Okay, so welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. So as a grammarian, I'll be keeping track of our grammar, making sure our punctuation and our enunciation and our smoothness of what we say is on point, especially for those business presentations, which we may be doing. I would also like to say that we're all here because we want to improve. I'm the VP of Education, so we're all members. Who here has a speech that they have scheduled in the next 4 weeks? 2. Great. So 1 today, maybe next week. So I encourage all of you. It's great to come to the meetings, and it's a bit terrifying. It can be a bit of a catastrophe in our minds to actually sign up for that speech, but sign up for it, put it on, give yourself a deadline, however ambitious it is. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's 4 weeks, and prepare for it. And that's what we're here to do. Get up here on this stage and get uncomfortable. And then so we could become better speakers and become more comfortable. I'm actually doing a speech next week for NVIDIA US employees, so 13,000 employees. It's virtual. It's 23 slides. It's on debt management, macroeconomic trends, interest rate themes throughout the world, good debt, bad debt, and then to help families and to help employees better understand that as a tool. So without this Toastmasters group, I would literally be unable to do that confidently, but it's a part of my work. So we have to do it. We have to step forward, and we want to enjoy it versus being afraid of that moment. All right. So the word of the night is catastrophe, which means a catastrophe is never a good thing. Catastrophe can refer to a momentous, tragic event, an utter failure, a violent and sudden change in a feature of the earth, or a violent, unusual, destructive natural event. So lots of true catastrophes occur in the world, unfortunately, but together we are resilient as a society and as a people, and hopefully we have no catastrophes this evening during any of our speeches. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Chris. And Anant today is a general evaluator. So Anant, please quick overview.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anant Kumar, and I am the general evaluator for this evening. What I'll be looking at, how we conducted our meeting. Did we start on time, introduce guests properly? Did all the roles filled up? And did we make use of the technology or any hiccups or anything like that? I hope we will not do any catastrophic mistake today. And I will review and present my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Anant. And Chirag today is in charge of table topics. So Chirag, please a few words about table topics, especially for guests. So just what it is about.
Thank you, Alexey. So table topics is usually an opportunity to talk um, impromptu. So it's not, you're not prepared, or, you know, you have to act on your, you have to think on your feet. So that's what table topics is for. So usually there's a table topic master, and he will ask 3 to 4 questions. He or she will ask 3 to 4 questions. And usually there are volunteers from the guests, from the audience. Today, I will be covering, as I mentioned, three-headed expert improv game. So that's what I'll be doing.
Okay, thanks, Chair. And as I mentioned it earlier, we have 2 speakers and 2 evaluators. First evaluator is Poep. Do I pronounce it right, guys? Poep. The name. Phoebe. Phoebe. Sorry. Phoebe, my apology. I would never guess. It's kind of sometimes spelling is confusing. Okay, Phoebe for Maria and Tom for Amber. So there is a last call for the third speech. Any volunteers? Somebody want to try? Just ad hoc? Nope.
I can try.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, excellent. So Anant is a third speaker, ad hoc speech. And anybody volunteers as an evaluator, or we just can go around? If anybody want to try to evaluate, Anant? Going once, going twice.
He's a Toastmaster coming back into the fray.
Yeah, you're the man. You want to try? Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have all roles filled up. And as instant, David, correct? A guest.
Yep.
Yeah, David, can you please introduce yourself and few words, what you're looking for and what you'd like to achieve through Toastmasters?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm David. I'm grew up in the Bay Area. I'm from San Jose, but a little bit more closer to the Los Gatos area. So I found you guys online. I always wanted to develop my public speaking side, improve it. I know there's a lot to improve. I'm starting to really focus on I've been in school for the longest time, and I'm finally starting to work now. And as I develop, or as I head into my career, I realize it's really important to also be good at speaking. It's pretty fundamental. So it's kind of what kickstarted me into wanting to really look into Toastmasters for real and get better at that side of my personality, and looking to learn and excited to see what you guys are all about. So happy to be here. Thank you for being supportive of me, and I'd like to see what you guys are all about. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, David. So take a look at our club. Most of people, from what I know, for the same reason here, professional, looking for ways to improve speech and appearance for professional reasons, typically. Of course, with few illusions for other reasons. So let's start this meeting, and first speech is Maria is with you.
Thank you, Alexey. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Word catastrophe actually brought a smile to my face, because I remember those taxi men in Barcelona who who will commenting on the traffic, like catastrophe, it's catastrophe, and like now it's this dramatic words brings a smile to my face, and I feel in I missed 2 meetings. I feel in those butterflies already. Really, I hope it's not the beginning of catastrophe today, but even if it is, let it be the way that it will bring a smile to your face later in life. My name is Maria Kovalyova, and I am a life coach. I help the most powerful people in the world, the parents, to bring ease, joy, and peace in their families. Actually, I help their kids. But and today I will present on the elective project of level 4 of the pathways. The title of my speech is "What do you want to feel after?" So we can start the timing. What do you want to feel after? Everything is moving in the universe, agree? Everything is in the constant change. And we as humans, we want to participate in this movement. We want to be participants in this change. How do we do it? We set our goals and achieve them. We move from point A to point B. Most people believe that goals should be smart, or at least I see it from my LinkedIn feed. The goals should be smart. They should be specific. They should be manageable, measurable. They should be achievable. They should be relevant, and they have to have a due date, right? Well, I feel there is something missing here. Do you feel it? What is missing? I feel the link to our big visions, to our values is missing in this, at least in this SMART goal perspective. And the link is in emotional currency. What do you want to feel after you achieve your goal? Have you ever had an experience? I think you had. So please bring it in your head. Experience when you went through all steps towards your goal. You completed predictable, not predictable steps, and you're here. The goal is achieved. Now what? What do you feel about this goal? And sometimes you feel nothing. Or a little bit of even disappointment because you don't feel anything. You spend so much time. Why it happens? Why it happens to humans? Instead of asking this question, we ask what's next. We want to use this achieved goal for something else, rather than regulating, rather than reflecting on what's going on. Why don't I feel this like success? We choose another goal and another goal and another. We create the chain of achieved goals. But this chain makes us not much different from artificial intelligence models. In what sense? As I understand, artificial intelligence models are not visible when they are not doing things. They are not existing when they don't complete some tasks. From the moment we put their prompt to the moment of result, they are doing. Otherwise, we don't see them. But we, as humans, we can be, just be. It's hard, just be. I experienced myself this. Why it's hard? Because we've been taught to do well in life. We haven't been taught to be well in life. Actually, there is why so many life coaches, psychotherapists, healers, mentors, all those people try to bring the person who is stuck in the doing mode to the being mode. Because at some point of life, we ask who I am here. Am I just a doer or I'm something else? And from my experience, recently I left my corporate job to be doing more coaching. But really, no. I realized I left my corporate job to be more free, to be more relaxed, to be more at agency of my time, my energy, to be a better wife, to be a better mother, to be able to invest my interest in other human beings. And today I want to ask you one thing. Next time you set your goal, be it a SMART goal, But before taking the first step, please take time and consider what do you want to feel after it's accomplished. Just visualize or journal or something. Be sure it's your goal and you will feel something valuable for yourself after it's complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, for the guidance in life. You just showed us the direction. So guys, let's take 2 minutes to evaluate Maria's speech. And there is a link here, like you can scan if you need. And while we go ahead.
Maybe tell David, you go to Gatos.org. Click on the back website.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Think of your mic not on.
Oh, yeah. So David, you can go to toastmasters.org and pick up a link from there. It should be Los Gatos Toastmasters, sorry. Yes. Now, while we're providing written response, if anybody wants to provide verbal, you're welcome just to provide Maria with personal feedback. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, personal feedback, please make it quick since we just have several minutes and it really helps people just to get information.
I'll take a minute.
It's not for you, Anant, I know you go.
Yeah, I'll take a minute. Congratulations, Maria. It was one of the best speech I have heard so far and very deep, fully engaged. I felt fully engaged till the end, very organized. You knew what you are gonna talk. You gave some preamble, so we knew what is coming, clear topic, and you little bit give the introduction what you are gonna talk about. And then in the end, there is a thought. You left everybody with a thought, and the topic is very much relevant. It impacts everybody's life, and everybody you gave a homework for everyone, which I totally love. And then it's a great reflection speech. I totally enjoyed it, and I think I will take some notes and keep it in my record for improving my life. Thank you.
Anybody else is volunteers? Those online.
Okay. No, I was just talking about something else, but yeah, I can definitely do it.
Just feedback.
Yeah, that's good.
So great speech. I think you're doing it first time.
Yeah.
And I've heard pitches and I've made my own pitches. They're very rough, very first time, and then you need to just do it like 20 times before you get hang of it, right? It's a good problem you're solving. So I think you're in the right space. And so I put myself from the point of view at why am I interested in what you're saying? I think you started very strong with your personal story, right? People who are investing, they want to know that you're invested in it and why you're invested, right? So you have a genuine reason to be there. Then you presented your stats saying that how big is the problem in US, right? That was good. But you mentioned then $4 billion or $40 billion opportunity. Maybe you can quote where that number comes from. I didn't see, maybe I missed on the slide. Was it there?
It wasn't, it's just if you calculate the LTV and then like 1% of the market share, that's how much it would be.
Yeah. So I think because that question might be there in somebody listening, where does this come from? So maybe you can say that.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And I think for first 2 minutes, you talked about the opportunity and the problem. And then you moved on to solution. That was very brief, very good. Revenue, how and what is going to happen in the team. And I'll share my experience and take it with pinch of salt and see how it goes. Because somebody is not going to just stop here, right? First thing is for them to get engaged so that they can come and talk to you saying, hey, give me more, right? Generally, it is a good idea to expand more on the problem, right? Because I don't know if they are from the same background, because some people may not be from the same background. Spend more time on the problem, and then solution very briefly, you can just touch on it. Team is more important than solution. So I would say put the slide of team slide on right after the problem. The reason is when somebody is connecting, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. See, yeah, so that's why that is exactly what I was asking, that it's hard for me to type, but I can talk after the meeting. So just move that slide up and we can talk more. Thank you.
Amber, I just have a few
Oh,
questions.
absolutely.
So I'm a banker at JP Morgan, so we oftentimes we talk to founders, CEOs when they pitch to us, when they need funding, right? So a few things. Number one, well done. You talk about total addressable market, and you talk about why you are here, your experience, your team. Awesome. A few items I want to point out. You talk about the acronym LTV. I don't understand what LTV is. Perhaps you can spell, maybe you did once, but I didn't catch. So even right now, I don't know what LTV is.
So loan to value is not.
No, that's not loan to value, right?
Lifetime value?
Yeah, like the lifetime value,
value.
if you were to have that patient for the entire life cycle that
Sure.
you like, the largest possible.
Yeah, I think that's not a concern for somebody who is investing.
Sure.
But
Depend upon
with
the
the
audience.
niche competition, yeah, like, so it's not for a general audience, it's for a super specific audience,
So they should know.
so they should know, yeah, I would need to add like
If
to.
anybody is in marketing, they know LTV. They ask what is the LTV, and every dollar you spend on marketing or acquiring customer.
Yeah.
You need to know the LTV.
Guys, that's all, let's.
Yeah,
dig
and
into-
then would like to know how long have you started the business? How long when the business was established? We want to know how long, right? And also what stage you are in. Are you in the like a seeding, right? Or Series A, right? So you probably want people to know where you are. And also to make your business more attractive. And perhaps you can talk about your pipeline. You kind of mentioned about how much revenue you generated per patient, right? But yes, but then we want to know, you may not want to tell your revenue because that's confidential. You can talk about your pipeline, right? How you find customer, patient, your pipeline. That's about it, but
Yeah.
well done, consider that.
Thank you.
Can I add one thing quickly?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like serious people.
You're welcome. Actually, we have quite a few financial guys here, ladies, so.
Amber, I think I actually disagree with Anant about, Vijay, about the problem, because too much problem kind of weights too heavy, right? In the early stage investments, right, everybody knows that founders matter the most. And then you talked about the expertise and this and that, right? Your personal connection, but the grit that's actually will help launch and succeed this company, right? So we might want to talk a little bit about why you 4 or 5 people together will make a difference. Even if everything all fails, you guys really gonna persevere and make it happen.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much. And just, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but Vivian came from the financial world, big bucks kind of world. Okay, so let's move to the next topic. Next speaker is Anant. You're welcome. And thank you for volunteering.
Good evening, Toastmaster, fellow members, and online guests. My name is Anant Kumar. This speech I'm going to present is unprepared, so I'll try to keep it organized. I'll try to keep to the point, and I'll try to finish on time. But if I have anything going out of course, then I'll try to course correct myself. So my topic for today's speech is my culinary catastrophic event. Let's get started with the timer. Have you ever felt to become like a culinary genius and your kitchen transform into a catastrophic situation, like a typical horror movie. I will walk you through one Saturday evening when I tried to be a master chef and I made the serious disaster scene. On one of the Saturday night, I was feeling inspired by a cooking show, and I was relaxing on the sofa. I told my wife, I'm gonna cook you a dinner. My kids were, nah, they could anticipate what is coming their way. You know, kids have less filters. And they were like, are you really going to make a dinner today? I was like, why not? I have been watching this culinary show and I'm totally inspired. I think I have master chef within me. You will see. I'll show you what I can do. My wife was supportive. She said, yeah, I would like to try what you want to cook for us. Let's have dinner. My kids were little spectacle. They knew what's coming their way. But anyway, all the things I kept it aside. I walked into the kitchen and I announced, I'm gonna make a eggplant parmesan. That's a recipe I learned from last cooking show I watched. I lay down all the ingredients on the table and I was like, there are few ingredients. What could get wrong? I lined up eggplant, parmesan, cilantro, and oil on the table, neatly lined up. I cut uh, eggplants, salted a little bit, and put them on the stove and toss it with a little bit oil. Wow, the first part was easy. What can go wrong? But then after that, smoke started coming out. Maybe I put it on too hot flame. I was not supposed to, because I never cooked eggplant. I didn't know how they are gonna behave on the flame. I immediately rushed to the stove and tried to move the eggplant, but it was kind of halfway through, half burnt out. I said, there is a little problem, and every big project has some smaller problems. Let me just move to the next step. I diced tomatoes and again put them on the stove. Little that I know that the pan I was using has some water in it. And then it was sprinkling around, and those sprinkles fall on my skin, and I almost felt burnt. And I screamed, ah! My kids were enjoying. They were seeing that what is coming. They were seeing their doubts or whatever they could predict coming to the reality. My wife rushed to the kitchen. What happened? I said, nothing, honey. Everything is under control. I'm gonna give you a good dinner. I continued with my project, and then I mix both of these things and put it in oven. And I was like, okay, most of my job is done. I'm gonna cut the cilantro and I'm gonna sprinkle it after the dish is ready. But little that I know, after that, the smoke coming out from the oven. Maybe I set it too high temperature. I rushed to the oven again, opened the oven, and I saw the smoke came out on my face. Oh, maybe I didn't have to set it at that high temperature. I pulled it out and I saw it was a total disaster. It was a total debacle. I didn't want my kids to come to the kitchen because they will make fun of me. And they will say, okay, you wasted our time. I just called my wife. Do you wanna come over? She thought I would need some help. But then I showed her, okay, what's the debacle I did? And she's like, that's a nice try. Maybe some other time. I do not want to come out of the kitchen because my kids were in the living room. They were watching a movie. They were waiting for the nice dinner as I promised. I gave it a call to my the pizza place nearby and ordered a pizza which my kids liked. And then they still didn't know. After a 15 minute, the ring bell sounded and I opened the door. I took the pizza delivery and told my kids, here is the dinner for tonight. I think that's all I wanted to share. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Anant. That was educational.
Yeah, that was fun.
Let's take 2 minutes for feedback. If anybody wants to provide feedback verbally, you're welcome. Just Maria, please.
By the way, it was a made-up story. I'm a great cook.
Yeah. I knew that based on the previous story about pets. I remember the story about pets. So I was wondering if he made up. But thank you. It was a great story and it's funny, always funny. And today I saw somewhere that the great speaker is not the one who is a master in public speaker, but who has the energy and captivate the audience. So it's kind of counterintuitive in Toastmasters. We still want to master it, there's public speaking, but the readiness to go and get it, like go and present, it's one of the top, I guess, skills in public speaking too. The bravery, I don't know how it's called, courage. So I like how the speech started with the question and how you provided kind of a plan. I will walk you through my disaster in the kitchen, right? And I liked how you made example how the inspiration alone doesn't work. You need practice, you need procedures, you need working through the whole deal with more precise, with more tactic, I guess. It's the same as coaching. Inspiration is not enough. I like the suspense, how you talked for a long time about laying all the ingredients and okay, I don't have time again, but I really like the speech and thank you for being courageous, taking the spot and being an example, I guess.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Maria. That was quite a relation, let's say. Next topic is table topic. Sharak, you're welcome. Sorry, Chirag, each time I switch to French.
No, that's fine. So I think so the table topics I want to do is a game. So I think we need enough time. So I don't want to rush it. It won't be fun. So I think we'll skip it for this week. I'll schedule it for next week. And yeah, and then we can move on to formal evaluations. So yeah. So that we don't have to rush it. Yeah.
That's a good call.
So we can end the meeting on time. Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Rob.
So we'll move.
Seasonal build down.
Yeah, it's quite an intrigue. So yeah, just game. Yeah. Speech evaluation is the next part. First, Phoebe, with evaluation of Maria. Phoebe, you're welcome.
Thank you, President. Maria, this is probably at least my second time evaluate your speech. Huge improvement. I had the pleasure to watch your speech at least, this is the third time. The first time, second time was improvement, and this time was wow. The reason I said wow was the speech, the content you delivered was very clear, right? You tell us people set goal
then you achieve the goal, like a common expectation. However, at the end of the day, do you feel it if that's the goal for yourself? So that's a great point and very deep. At the same time, you deliver the speech very naturally. The reason I said naturally, I didn't see you didn't feel any nervous, you didn't show, and you had a great hand gesture, right? And also eye contact. And it was just natural. I didn't see you have a note, but I don't even see you or kind of memorize that. So you internalize that as if you are talking, share your story. So that was great. And also your vocal variety, I could tell. The one thing I like the most is you ask question, you answer. And why do I want to say that? Because of this. So you make people pay attention, more focus. So I really don't have any suggestion. The only suggestion is keep doing what you are doing. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti. The next evaluator is Tom. Tom, you're welcome with evaluation of Amber's presentation.
Well, Amber, first of all, I have to preface my evaluation by the fact is that pitches aren't my world professionally. And I realize some of the other people in this room, boy, they just had ideas right and left about effective pitching. So I know there's an art and a science to it. And some of us are a little more experienced in that world than I am. So my comments and my evaluations, keep in mind, are really based more from more of a layman's standpoint and not in the trenches listening to pitches all day long. And I'm sure there's certain elements of a pitch that you have to hit on, and that's what the audience expects. So I'm more of a general audience, so my comments are sort of coming from that standpoint. Clear introduction at the beginning, clearly explaining, hey, here's the scenario. That was very helpful. It would have been difficult if you had just launched into it. So thank you for doing that. Obviously, you won't be doing that when it's game time, but it helped for tonight. You said that engagement was important for you. You wanted me to focus on that. So I'll spend my time talking about that. Two things. One is pacing was a little fast. Maybe not a little fast, very fast. Now, having said that, I know you have 4 minutes. So you're going to have to find a way to maybe reduce some of the content. To be more effective and engaging, you need to be a little slower, I think. At times it was a bit like a fire hose of information. And it was sort of, again, for me, general audience member, was like you were checking some boxes. And maybe that's what you need to do. So again, take it with a grain of salt a little bit, but if there's a way you can maybe reduce the content a bit to give you a little more time to catch your breath, that would be helpful for engagement. Secondly, and we know we've heard this often in Toastmasters, to really be effective, have effective engagement, it needs to be a little more personal. You made a reference, I think at the beginning, was it to your father? Yeah, and then you talked about your struggles and the co-founder's struggles, but you just said struggles, that was it. So you have an opportunity to elaborate on not all of that, but maybe it's your father, or maybe it's, hey, I know this from personal experience. When I was in college, I struggled with sleep. I remember there were weeks on end where I would just get 2 or 3 hours a night, sometimes no sleep at all. Somehow make it personal. Or another example would be, hey, let me share with you one success story of our services. We had this lady who had this, and then this is where the results we were able to achieve. Draw people in, better engagement by making it, bringing a personal aspect to it. So those would be my general comments. Try and find a way to, I challenge you to find a way to reduce the content that will help with pacing, and find a way to add a little more personal aspect to your speech. And I look forward to hearing it next week again, and I'll come loaded with some questions for the Q&A. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tom, on behalf of Amber, of course. So the next evaluation is for Anant, and sorry, your name is? Son. My apology. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Song. I'm a guest, second time here, and I'm very leaning towards being a member. I think I'll be member right after this meeting. So I just wanted to do a little preamble before anything else. Yes. Just for technicality, how many minutes do I have? 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and you give me a signal at
2:30 and then.
Okay, very good. Okay. Anand, this is the second time meeting you. Great speech, given that it's an impromptu speech, well, very much put together. You gave a strong delivery with a hook to start with. When you use the word of the day, catastrophic, into the speech when you gave it. And given that it is an impromptu speech, I applaud you for your creativity to come up with those very entertaining details that you sprinkled around as you did the cooking, disastrous cooking in the kitchens, and elaborate how much you saw disaster that's foreseeable coming out of the ovens, the smoke that's coming out of the oven. The parts that I can make some recommendations, a few things. When I look at few things, I would like to think in terms of structures, content, and delivery. Structures, I like the way you carry it through. If, again, it is impromptu speech, but you had to kind of go and back and forth on some of those. And I heard you talk about the smoking oven 2 at least times. So in terms of structure, I think you could make a little more improvements to be thoughtful as you structure the speech on the spot. Number 2, contents. I love the way you created from beginning to the end, brought your family into the details. Little more on details that are more colorful to keep the audience more engaged. And delivery. I love the way you did the eye contact throughout the speech, made eye contacts here and there. A little less on the hand gestures, I think. Finally, if we were looking at the delivery overall, I would say you need to kind of slow down a little bit to go at points where you need to make certain points and elaborate a little more, go a little softer, a little louder to give variety of your speech in that way. Number 2, in terms of how you start strong because you got to hook in. However, I felt like you almost ran away towards the end, kind of leaving us suspended in a way. Easy done, and quietly disappeared into your seats. I would say finish strong when you do the speech. But again, really appreciated your speech. Very entertaining. I would love to hear more as I become part of your Toastmasters club. Thank you.
That was quite structural evaluation, I would say. A really good one. Thank you. So now it's time for functional report. First is the timer. Vijay, please provide your results.
Thank you. There was no catastrophe today. I think we did great. Maria, you had 5 to 7 minutes. You did 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Right on time. Amber, I think your goal was 4 minutes. Was it around 4 minutes, under 4 minutes?
Yeah, I knew it was a little bit over 4, but that's what I'll need to get it down to.
4:22. And I think Tom's comment will help with that. Anant, 5 to 7 minutes. You were 6 minutes and 2 seconds, right in the range. Evaluators, Phoebe, 2 to 3 minutes you spoke for 1 minute and 48 seconds. Tom, almost 3 minutes. Sung, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So right on time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Well, L counter, Vivian.
Hey, thank you. I'm pleasantly surprised, very few filler words. I thought I would have found a lot more because I use those a lot. But to my surprise, very few of us, I mean, you guys today, the speakers, actually have filler words. Like Maria, you only had one, and Amber also one only, and Anant only one as well. Phoebe, you got 0. Good job. Tom, you had a bit of I guess because you were trying to explain the situation, so it was more like a conversation, right? And Sonny got 0. So I'm very surprised. And it is a very good exercise. I would recommend that everybody takes this functional role, and you will make you listen to people's speeches in a very different perspective.
Thank you, Vivian. Yeah, indeed. You just started hearing what you can, all mistakes that you make in speeches. Next, grammarian, Chris, you're welcome.
All right, thank you, Alexey. Great meeting. It's magic. We're ending on time. It's gonna be amazing. I don't know how we did that, Shirag. How did we do that? Just cut out like 15 minutes right in the middle. Perfect. Good executive call right there. Like that. All right. So Maria, inspired by your speech, good to have you back. I know you're working through some butterflies, but you had a different tone this morning or this afternoon. It was a little softer, a little more relaxed, a little bit more confident once you got back into your content, and very, I think, meaningful story for us to learn from. And we all have goals, but sometimes it does feel a bit unfulfilling at the end. So I like how you mentioned we're taught to do well versus to be well. I think that was interesting and profound. One thing I would say is that when you introduced yourself, you said, "Who I am." When I heard that, I was thinking it should be, "Who am I? Who am I?" Right? And then explain who you are, what you do as a life coach for families and children. I also really liked, be sure it's your goal, not someone else's goal. Be sure it's meaningful for you. And think about what you want that payoff to be, or what it will lead to in the future as a result. Amber, nothing during the content. I think in the beginning, you were a bit nervous and you were kind of saying and ah a little bit as you were, getting ready. But when you got into your content, it was very smooth. So you'll see the recording. Yeah. Anant, great job. Lots of guts getting up here. You were smiling. Obviously, that was something you were thinking about. And I was thinking about your kitchen. I was looking at the eggplant with you. I was going through that whole experience. So it was fun. So some things I would change is you mentioned a lot of I was like this. They were like this. So try to cut that out if you'd like to clean up a little bit. Another one was you mentioned spectacle. I think you meant skeptical. Skeptical. Also, too hot flame versus the flame was too high, or it was just too high. That'd be a different way to explain that. I think this was a pronunciation thing right here. Oven versus oven. 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 You got it. Oven. You got it. Perfect. Versus, yeah. And then the other one, the last one was ring bell versus doorbell. You may have a Ring device, which is the Ring bell, but I usually hear it as doorbell. So the doorbell. Catastrophe, well done by Anant, Maria, VJ. Did I miss anyone else? I said it as well. I didn't want to say that, but I said it as well. Okay, real quick. I will screen share.
There's a question.
Question? Yes?
You say that I not recommend that he cuts out I was like, correct? So is that a filler phrase?
I think that it was a very
That can be a filler word.
relaxed, fun speech. But I was like reminds me of high school and kids in the mall saying, I was like, they were like, he was like, and you're saying it a lot, but it can be distracting if it becomes a very consistent pattern.
If I can
Yeah.
just mention that phrase, oftentimes it is used a few times, it's acceptable, but when it gets iterative.
Yeah.
And you know that it's more of a filler for you as you're giving impromptu, you're thinking, so I'm nervous. Filler words to do it. So,
So next time I should count that as the lower.
Sure, if you pick up a pattern. So before I leave as VP of Education, just want to encourage everybody, this is our Trello area here, and next week is pretty open. We have Alexey here, our brave speaker too, but please, our members. Oh, Amber, Royal, perfect. So we need a Toastmaster, we need other speakers, evaluators. Yep, you can do all that. And then table topics is Shirag and functionaries. So go ahead, I say every time there's open cards to keep up the momentum for at least the meetings you think you'll be here, try to plug in and grab a slot. For sure, try to grab your next speaking role. That's why we're here. Just grab a slot and just put that deadline on the calendar and be like, I want to do it, whether I'm ready or not. And you'll force yourself to do it. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Chris. The next evaluator is Anant. You're welcome.
What an excellent meeting. I'm glad that we could wrap the full agenda. It was a full agenda. So as a general evaluator, I reviewed the meeting and I have few comments about it. The good part is we had a full agenda, and then we have a house full. I think after a couple of weeks, we got so many people in this meeting. So that's good. Please keep this turnout to be great. If you can get a time from your schedule. So please show up and sign up for all the roles. It's important for us to fill all the roles so that we can have a very productive meeting, and then we can learn from this platform. Some of the things which I would point out we can do better in future is this meeting started 5 minutes late. So let's start at exact 6:30 dot. The speeches were good. All speeches, including mine. For Maria, I think I gave my individual feedback, but as a general evaluator, I have to point out for enthusiasm, topic, preparedness, and organization. I think on all points you hit the ball out of court. Everything was good. You were prepared. Enthusiasm was good. Topic was clear, and your speech was very well organized. Some of the good sentences or quotes you use: do well versus be well, and then SMART goal, which basically everybody who works in the corporate are familiar with this, so that felt us connected and engaged with your speech. And similarly for Amber, sorry about that. Your speech is also great. I don't have a full knowledge about all those things, but on enthusiasm, topic, preparedness, organization, it's all good. So you can just go ahead and deliver this speech. So good luck. The one thing I also want to point out about how we ran today's meeting is we opened the floor for individual feedback after speech one. Let's not try to do that. It's okay to do that when we are short-staffed, when there are only few people around, because we know that, and there are not the agenda is not fully packed. Then we can do that. But if the agenda is fully packed and we have a house full, let's not try to get individual feedback by calling people on the podium here. Let's utilize technology, and then everybody type in their feedback, and within 30 minutes, if it require, we can extend from 1 minute to 1.5 minutes, 30 seconds more, but it will save us time. So that's one thing I want to point out. So be a little bit judgmental in that sense, where we need to call for individual feedback versus we don't. I think those are all my points. We did introduce the guest. I think that's all. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anant. The point is taken. Speaking of individual feedback, it's mostly about time. I guess we can just incorporate it into timing kind of check, right? So flash the card. Chris, you're welcome.
Maybe let's ask David Lee, our guest, what he thought about the meeting.
Oh,
first time.
absolutely, right.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So guys, yeah, really, my apology, and Chris is absolutely right. So what's your thoughts? What's your pick? And maybe feedback for us, how you
Oh,
look in your eyes.
yeah, I was just impressed by honestly everybody. Like everybody's very, I mean, I hope to like be able to get to your guys' level one day. I like I think I started to kind of get an idea of how the meetings are run. It does provide a lot of opportunity for people to speak, even if you're not, planned to speak for that day. It seems like there's a lot of even the feedbacks that you give on speeches are basically speeches themselves. So it's a great opportunity for everybody to kind of harness their hone their speaking ability. So yeah, it's a great it really does look pretty beneficial. You guys clearly have been it's been beneficial, it's clearly beneficial to you guys because you guys are all like pretty darn good. So yeah, I hope to get there one day as well.
See you in person next time.
Thank you. We're looking forward.
Thank you guys. Mhm.
So any questions, suggestions before we wrapping up this meeting, Tom?
One suggestion, so if we're gonna open up the feedback
Uh-huh.
round table, it should come after the speech evaluator gives the formal evaluation.
Yeah.
Then open it up.
Oh, yeah, Tom, you're right. I thought about saving time, but it did not work out. We need to reconsider it.
After
Yes.
the evaluator gives their evaluation, then open the floor up, because sometimes the people will hit upon topics that the evaluator.
That's correct.
Wanted to communicate.
Yes, that's right.
They should have a priority since they signed up for the role.
Yeah, actually, today's feedback turned into full evaluation almost.
But it should come after the
Yes.
formal evaluation.
Yeah, let's do it next time.
Yeah, and I
Correct.
think the roundtable should be limited to 30 seconds. Per
Yes,
person,
and
right?
we can
Not
flash a
full-
card, right?
and everyone has to be mindful of it.
Yeah, I was in a situation like cut off the person or stay polite and miss the time. So next time we'll just delegate it to a timer, right? Just to inform.
Yeah, I mean, but I think people should be mindful with that. It's not.
But it's hard. You stay here, you talk, right? Enjoy yourself. So understood. So you're welcome.
One observation
Mhm.
that I kind of borrow from my previous.
Absolutely.
semester. When someone's giving a speech, I noticed that everyone has a introduction of their speech before they start the speech, which seems a little bit awkward for me. What I've done in the past, with my previous Toastmaster, is the identified evaluator would give a spiel about the speaker and what the person will be speaking about and what are the things that the evaluator will be looking for. Thus creates a little bit of an introduction for the speaker.
Mhm.
Or if not, have the speaker give a very succinct reason of thing that the person will be interested in. It makes sense forever because we want to provide context to know the speech.
Mhm.
So I felt a little bit redundant in a way. There's a preamble to a speech.
Takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it takes up time.
Not only that, I mean, but just from technical perspective, when you're at a speech, really at a speech, let's say if you're at a speech at TED Talk, you're not going to be talking about what I'm going to talk about. You
Right.
kick it off.
Yeah,
Just
kick
kick
it
it
off.
off.
Yeah.
And you just have presence of silence to just boom, 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 boom. You want to have that kind of creative situation, what do you call it, environment for yourself, as a speaker.
I think that's a good comment. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Sam. That's just something to consider for us. So any other suggestions or anything to discuss? If not, we can.
Officer meeting after this for the.
Officers
our
meeting
first
after
one.
this, of course, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have the rest of the meetings here where it's cool and it's safe and a controlled environment. Anybody screaming and yelling in the back.
Far away from catastrophes.
The guy's a nice guy, but it got a little weird last week, so we're gonna, we're gonna keep it here.
One last point, announcement, next week after our meeting, we'll have a little social get together at Out of the Barrel in Los Gatos. Go outside, have a drink. So next week, immediately after. It's not mandatory. We can't make you go to the social.
Yeah. Pretty beer.
Yeah.
You should just hang out with us.
So, but, please join us. We have a lot of fun and get to know each other a little better, so. I'll- Yeah, I'll announce it on Trello, but it'll be immediately after.
Yeah.
the meeting.
That's the, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so
Yeah, close enough, close enough.
okay, the meeting is closed officially.
Good job.
Thank you.
Oh,